Hey there, thanks for tuning in. This is Mrs. J, and today we're going to look at shape sheet item number 3, object. Object number 3, this guy. Right here, you ready? We're going to try it in Fusion. All right, let's open up Fusion 360, sign in, and make sure you are in your folder that you previously created for shape sheet. So if you haven't made one, you go to this data panel, you open it, and you click New Project, Create Shape Sheet. I would pin it to the top. Once it's opened and you see the house and the little triangle, Shape Sheet, or the carrot, Shape Sheet, then you can close this. Hit the X right here. Everything you make will be automatically in there. If not, you can move your stuff later. All right, so we're going to create a new sketch. Let me look at that part one more time so I can plan action. So a couple of choices here. Oh, this is a good one. I can make this piece right here sort of an L shape and extrude it back and then add this piece on the bottom. Or I can make this piece and extrude it back and add that piece on the top. Depends how you want to go. I think I'm going to go with the top part and work my way around there. So I'm going to make this L right here. I mean, you can make this big rectangle and extrude downwards, but then you have to cut that out after. So either way, it's a little bit tricky piece. So I'm going to make this right here. I think I'll choose a plane for that. Let me shrink that. Remember, each box is 1/2 of an inch, 0.5 inch for each of these boxes. So this box is going to be 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, a little L shape. Okay, so in Fusion, let's do create a sketch. I think we're going to start right here. It doesn't really matter where you start. We can always change the orientation later. I'm going to do YZ. Okay, let's see what I can do. I'm going to use the rectangle tool for now, and I'm going to make it 1.5 tab 1.5. I use tab on my keyboard to go in between the two dimensions. Hit enter. If you happen to just drag it and click it and you didn't get the dimensions, all you have to do is double click on them now. Double click on them. If they have no dimensions there, you missed it completely. You just use the dimension tool and add them in. Okay, so that kind of looks like the front part, and I want to cut out a little piece here. So I'm going to grab the line tool, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to kind of click wherever. We'll move it after. Click up, and then click across. I'm trying to make this cutout right here. So it's going to be 1 inch by 1/2 inch. Let me go back in here. Let me add some dimensions. I probably got it. That's 1 inch. And then I'm going to make this a little bigger for you to see. And this should be 1/2 inch. If you kind of look at the grid spacing, that's how I'm getting it by not entering the dimensions. I just kind of follow those grids. So now I want to cut that piece out so that I don't extrude it, or you could just close it and extrude it and not choose that. But I think I'll try that. Let's finish the sketch. So I got 1.5 by 1.5, and then I've got a line in here 1 by 1/2 inch. Finish the sketch. If I do this now and I don't trim it first, it's easier. I don't have to remove dimensions. I'm going to hit the house so it's a little isometric. I'm going to zoom out so you can see it better. All right, now we're just going to extrude. I'm going to hit extrude, and instead of hitting both of them, I'm just going to hit one of them. So I'm going to deselect the part I don't want to extrude. And I got to look at the picture again. Okay, so we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 1/2 inches. So 2.5 inches backwards. That's what we want here. And let's just drag it that way. You can drag it, or you can type -2.5. You could have gone forward and still be able to build on the part. It's not a problem. This is the way I'm seeing it. So -2.5, enter. All right, starting to look like the part a little bit. All right, so the next part, we've got to come down underneath here. I'm going to flip it over and work on the bottom of what we just made, because we made this right here. So I'm going to get under there, and I'm going to put a rectangle going straight across it. And that rectangle is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these boxes, or 4 inches, because it's 1/2 inch for each box. Let's get in there. Okay, it's easiest to turn it around. Flip it carefully. I'm going to do that again in case you missed it, but you can always rewind the video. Hit my house button. I'm going to zoom out. And if yours came forward or you worked on a different plane, that's fine. Just get to the under part so you can see it, right? Okay. Then I'm going to go up here, top left, create a sketch. I'm going to click on this rectangle. It's going to put it nice and neat in front of your face. So we'll use that rectangle to make the next part. I'm going to drag it over. So we're going to use the rectangle tool, and we're going to put it right on this rectangle, like right in that dot right there. Or you can go in this corner. Might be easier. Let's click on the corner. Click and drag down. We want it to be 4 inches, tab, and 0.5 inches. I think it was 0.5 inches. I'm going to go back and look at the picture, and if I'm wrong, we'll fix it. Oh yeah, it just comes out straight ahead, and then it comes out 2 blocks, or 1 inch. Okay. Okay, so 4 by 0.5. Got that? Let's finish our sketch. Hit the house button so we can visualize it. Now I want to drag that down 2 blocks or 1 inch. So extrude, click. Oh, you got to make sure you get both of them. Yeah, I'm going to use the orbit tool so I get underneath, because look, it only took that side. I want both. It separates them because it knows you had an object. And go down 1 inch. Gotta type 1. And then hit enter. And then hit the house button. Am I still looking like that? I'm under the grid. That's cool though. Yeah, so I'm down here. I'm down 1 inch. Now I got to make this part that sticks out. It's a 1/2 inch. It's full length. That's easy peasy. Okay, so I hit the house button. Create a sketch. I'm going to put it, ignore these guys. They will drive you crazy. Sorry about the bell. Click right on the object. So just zoom out of the way. Click on the object. There you go. And then use your pen tool to move it around. Pen tool moves it around while not actually changing your object at all. My camera's gone crazy. All right, rectangle tool, go to the bottom left because you know you get right in that corner. Make sure you get it exactly. Double check. And come across, we want it to be 4 inches by, tab, 0.5. And then hit enter. I hide my sketch palette so you can see better. 4 inches by 0.5. And if you rotate that around a little bit, you can see what we're doing. Whoops. There you go. Finish your sketch by clicking the check mark and then extrude that surface. I think it was a 1/2 inch. Got to double check. Yeah, it's a 1/2 inch. So 0.5. It usually drags out in increments of like 0.10, 0.10. Hit enter. Hit the house button. Look at you, looking good. Okay, we have one more thing to do. I think it's a holes. So we've got a hole on the top. We've got a hole here. They look to be about a 1/2 inch wide, just comparing them to the grid spacing. So it's about a 1/2 inch wide. So we'll start with this one on the top right here. All right, back to Fusion. We want to create a sketch, and we want to click on the top of the object. Remember, ignore the planes. Click on the actual object. It's going to put it in front of you. We're going to get the circle tool. If you have your grid spacing on, you could just drop it right in this point right here. If you don't have the grid spacing on, you can toggle it on down here. I think it's down here. Or you can dimension this afterwards. So click this here, drag it out, and click 0.5. Remember, when you're doing a dimension, you want to show a leader line or a tilted line. So drag that 0.5, left click and drag, so it's off there. It's not going to show once we drill it in, but you're good. If you're not sure you got it on your point, you can do one more step. It's not necessary, just if you're lost. Hit the sketch dimension, so it says dimensions, and then click the center of the circle and the edge of the object, and it'll say 0.5. And then hit escape. We don't need it, so I don't want to hit enter. You can do it again after escape a couple times. Hit dimension. Make sure it's also 0.5 from this side. Hit the center of the circle and the outside of the object, 0.5. I'm good. Escape a couple times. I can't get out of it. Oh, I'm going slow. Okay. All right, finish your sketch. And let's hit the house button. And let's just see how far it's extruded. I don't think they show us. Okay, so this is not a full schematic. It doesn't show us how far it goes through. So we'll just assume it goes all the way through. we're going to do extrude, click the circle, and drag in the opposite direction. If you drag up, you're joining or adding material. If you drag down, you're cutting. And you'll see the words change in here. It doesn't matter what dimension, as long as it doesn't touch anything else. So you could just drag it, right? And then hit enter. And then if you use the orbit tool, you can look through. That's pretty neat. Okay, so we got one more hole to make, and it's right here. It looks to be in the center of the second square there. That's a little tricky, but we'll try. Okay, so create a sketch. Go on the front face, ignore the planes, get on here. If you're lost, go to the home button, click here. Zoom it up in front of you. Hand tool to move it around. It looks like they're in the center of this. So I'm going to hit the hole. I'm going to click, hopefully right in the center of this. I'm not really sure I got it, but it's all good. 0.5 is my circle. Hit enter. Drag that off there. And then I'm just going to make sure I put it in the right place by selecting the dimension tool and clicking the center and this edge and going up. It says 0.745. I think it's supposed to be 0.75. Yeah, and that puts it like exactly in between there. And I know the other one's good because I'm on that line, so I'm going to hit escape, finish my sketch, hit the house button. Also doesn't say if it should go through or not on the picture, so I'm going to click it, drag it all the way through. And you could drag it partially, but I think it looks cool when it goes all the way through. Hit enter. Maybe twice. Oh, because I was in the orbit tool. And you can see through. Okay, good work. Don't forget to save. We're also happy we get this work done that we forget to save. I think it's called, how am I calling them? I think it's called shape number 3. And it's in my shape sheet. I've got that in the right place. Save it, open up my shape sheet, and see what I got. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.